So basically in this video today, I'm going to show everybody a brisket made easy. You know, briskets can be very intimidating. Most people don't do them just for that reason, because, you know, you got to cook it for 12, 18, 24 hours. Nobody knows how to cut it up or trim it. It's just a big process. But I tell you, in my opinion, I think the brisket is probably the second or third most flavorful cut from the beef. So, but it's very tough to make. So today it's going to be beef brisket made easy, period. I'm not going to get into the whole terminology because I don't know it about the point and the tip and all this other stuff. All I'm going to say, guys, is we're going to take our boning knife and we're going to clean this thing up, okay? So we're going to leave some fat on. We're going to take off as much as we can without taking off more than a quarter. We want to leave a 1/4 inch layer of fat roughly on the top side. And then when we get to the bottom side, we'll go from there. So first things first, we got some discolored meat and things like that here. So, you know, we're just going to kind of clean all this up and give our brisket that nice oval shape that we want. Couple reasons for that. A, it cooks a little more evenly. And B, when we wrap it up in the butcher paper for the smoker, it wraps nicer and all of that. So here we go. So first things first, we're going to start by just getting rid of some of this excess stuff over here. So I'll show you all again what we're talking about. So this here, all this can go, right? We're going to kind of trim this up. It's going to sort of look like this. Get rid of this discolored meats here. And we're going to run and make this nice oval shape. Okay, so we'll start there. So I got to do this facing me, guys. I'm sorry, but you get the idea. All right. So here we go. Oh, by the way, all our trimmings, if you guys remember Waffle and Leo, they're going to get some of that trimming, and some of it's going to just go to rendering out, making beef tallow, because as you see, there's a lot of fat here. So I'm just going to grab a tray to put that stuff in right here, okay? And there's piece number one. So we're going to just keep this going here. And I mean, just to give you an idea why this cut is so flavorful, I mean, look at the marbling. Look at the marbling in that, right? So some of that is fat, some of it's connective tissue, which is what makes it tough, which is why we got to cook it slow. Now for us, we are not going to cook this for 18 or 24 hours. If you guys saw the video called Upgrade Your Steak with this one simple trick, we're actually going to apply that to this brisket, and that should help us reduce the cooking time, enhance the flavors even more, and take this brisket to the next level, okay? So check that video out if you haven't seen it. It's actually a pretty good video. It's actually the video we've made that's done the best out of all other videos so far on the channel, okay? I guess everybody's interested in upgrading their steak. So when we cut this, we want to just go bit by bit to make sure we're not getting into the actual meat layer, because we do want to leave some fat on this. And then once we get down to a certain point, we'll pretty it up a little bit, all right? Not that that matters, of course. As long as it eats good is what matters, right? And I promise you guys, this thing is going to eat phenomenally well. So again, we're just going to get all this stuff off here. And all this good stuff is going to get rendered out into tallow. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but we're starting to get down to the meat here. So this is going to be my point that I'm going to try and just stay along that line there to make sure we don't go too far into it. Okay, so there we go. All right, so I'm not going to sit here and make you guys watch me do this whole trimming. So we're just going to skip to the finished product. until we got to flip it over to the other side, okay? So I'll see you in about 3 seconds. So here we are, guys. I have this all trimmed out a little bit more. All we have left now is this silver skin, okay, which is, you know, a lot of people leave this on. I think it makes all the difference in the world to take it off, because it just allows what we're gonna do with this whole upgrade our brisket technique. It allows everything just to work a lot better, okay? Now look, I'm not a butcher. I'm not even a chef. I don't even do this for a living, okay? I'm just a regular guy, you know? And what I'm trying to tell you all is a brisket shouldn't be intimidating, okay? This was very easy. It must, I mean, this video, I don't know how long it is, maybe how long it's gonna be, but this whole process probably took me 15 minutes, okay? Up to this point, and I'll probably spend another 5 minutes on this silver skin, and then it's ready to go. I mean, the brisket is done, and it's ready for the next step, which is, you know, in most cases, seasoning it and then cooking it. In our cases, we're gonna actually age this for a week, okay? So I'm gonna get to that in a second. Let me just finish cleaning up all this silver skin. We've got this pretty well cleaned up. We got a couple little areas here of silver skin right here that we're gonna just get off. So the key, guys, to making this work is a sharp knife is very important, okay? I use a 6.5-inch boning knife, which allows me to get some flex in there when I need it, okay, as you all can see. And I can really kind of just get right under there and, you know, clean things up like that. And it almost like skinning, you know, for all you hunters out there, it's very much like skinning an animal, right? And that's it. So we have this last little section here. I mean, you're never going to get 100% of it off, guys. I mean, I guess it depends how much time you want to spend on it. But the whole purpose of this video is a brisket made simple. So that's about as simple as it gets. There it is, okay? Big difference from where we started. And there's our trimmings pile there. So at this point, guys, this is ready for, sorry, let me just get cleaned up here. So this is ready for seasoning and cooking at this point. But we, like I said, we're going to do something different just to make it even easier, because the whole idea is to make this simple. So simple means put it away, forget about it, come back. We don't need to cook it for 18 or 24 hours. This brisket, the idea is we're going to have it cooked in 4 to 6 hours and have it just as tender and juicy as the 18 to 24 hour brisket. So now we're going to prepare the aging part of it all, okay? And if you guys didn't see it, again, check out the video. I'll put a link for it here or in the comments or whatever, the description down below. Check that video out to see the process of that. And we'll see you all in 1 week's time. All right, just kidding, guys. For all of you who didn't see the video on what we did to upgrade our steaks, I'm going to give you a quick crash course right here. We have some, today it's Himalayan pink rock salt. We have our brisket, of course. This is the underside. Come on, guys. Tell me that's not gorgeous, okay? So we're going to salt this pretty generously, or as I think I said in my last video, liberally. I typically use I would say about a half a teaspoon per pound of meat, but again, it's obviously we're not measuring, we're just kind of coating it on one side here with the salt, and then we're just going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. But I'm sure if we did measure it, it probably works out to about a half of teaspoon per pound of meat. Okay, so that's, done there. We'll just pat this all in so nothing falls off when we flip it over. And I gotta do this one-handed so I can keep my other hand clean to grab the salt. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And that's it. We're gonna put it on a rack and go back and take a look at it in a week's time. So see you all in a week. So here we are, guys. It's a week later. It's chilly outside. The weather's getting cooler. The leaves are changing color. So this is probably going to be the first and last brisket of the year. So now this has been aging for a week after we've salted it, as you've seen. And we are going to smoke this. You don't necessarily have to smoke this. This can be done in the oven. It can be done on the barbecue. We're using the Kamado Joe just because that's what we have and that's what we like to use. So very simple, guys. For our wood choice, we're going with birch. Okay, this is birch that we've actually cut. So it's been, I guess it's a couple years old now. It's been sitting outside and weathered. So we've peeled off as much bark as we could from the piece we put in, and burnt off the rest, and it's going to go in the smoker. So we're sitting right now at a temperature at about 225 or so, and we're going to get that up to about 250 to 275, and we're going to put this on there. Now, as I said earlier, a lot of people smoke these things for 12, 18, 24 hours. The whole idea here, guys, is to make this simple. So we're going to do this in a maximum of 6 hours, and it's going to pass all the brisket bend tests and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's it. We're going to put this on here in a minute, and that's it. So we're up to temperature, guys, 250 degrees and climbing slowly. So I'm going to adjust these vents in a minute here to just make sure we maintain that temperature. So that looks pretty good there. Now, I normally don't use these, but just for the video's sake, I don't even own one. This is my friend's. It's the meter plus, it says here. So I guess we're going to put that in the thickest part of the brisket, which would be, of course, over here, and I guess right in the center. Our dogs are fighting over there. They want to know who's going to get the offcuts of the brisket first. So the cool thing about this meter, I think, guys, is that it'll actually tell you the barbecue temperature internally, and the meat temperature. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, I've never used one, but hey, maybe I'll get addicted to it and I'll start using it more often. So as you see, we're smoking nicely here, and it's time to set this baby in here. Okay, I only used half the grate so we can keep this open so I can top it up as we need to go in case we run out of coals or more wood to smoke. And we're going to put this baby on. So just to give you all an idea what it looks like after aging, it looks aged, right? And so the aging process, guys, is going to help with the tenderizing of it. That just fits perfectly. And this will shrink as it cooks throughout the day here. So the time right now is 11 o'clock. So in 6 hours, it'll be 5 o'clock. Then we'll rest it for an hour, and it'll be perfect time for dinner. So we'll check on this every couple hours just to make sure we're getting a nice crust and all that good stuff. And we'll be doing a taste test for dinner. So stay tuned for that. Be back in a couple seconds. So here we are, guys, 2 hours exactly later. We are holding steady at 250 degrees beautifully. The meter says there's another 2.5 hours left of cook time. So we're falling perfect, but I don't know how much I trust that. I haven't used it yet. We'll just keep an eye on things. So now that we're going to open it up, at the same time, I got some butter here, and we're going to baste it. Some people spray it with vinegar and things like that. I like butter. It just adds a nice, more savory flavor to things and helps develop a better crust, in my opinion. So let's take a look and see what we got here. Oh, my goodness. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a genuine work of art. The color is just gorgeous. Starting to develop a nice crust. Okay, and I'm just going to baste all this up real nice. And that's it. So we'll be back in another 2 hours to take another look. So it's another hour and a half later, and thank goodness for this meter probe. I like it already because it notified me that the ambient temperature is dropping, which is a good indicator that we need more charcoal. So we're going to take this minute to put some more charcoal on here and make sure we have enough wood and all of that to keep the smoke steady. But also, we're going to take a baste, and we're going to baste this up a little bit again as well. So let's take a look and see what we're dealing with here. Oh man, that looks like a piece of candy. And yeah, we can see that the fire's suffering a little bit. So I am going to just brush this a little bit more with some butter. Real quick. We got some pooling going on here as well. So we'll just help that for a second. And we're going to get some charcoal in there and get this thing back up to 250. Right now it's at about 219. So the meter says we have another 3 hours of cook time. It already has been about 3.5 hours, but I think once we bring up the temperature, that'll change. All right, guys, so we're just getting ready here because this brisket is almost done. The time right now is 4:25, and we put it on at 11 o'clock. If you remember when we started this, I estimated we're going to do this easy brisket in 4 to 6 hours. So right now it's 5.5 hours. And it's my first time using this meter probe. And I'm pretty impressed with it actually so far because if you see here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but we're at an internal right now of 190. We're hovering as planned at 253, okay, Fahrenheit. And it's saying another 33 minutes left. So that is exactly, well, what?
Touch the screen again.
Why?
It'll tell you how long it's been cooking.
Oh, okay. There you go. So this has been cooking for exactly 5 hours and 18 minutes and 5 hours and 19 minutes now as it's changing as we speak. So that's pretty darn accurate. That's 10 minutes shy of 6 hours. So we're just getting prepared here. And guys, I just want to note that when you cut a brisket, it's important that you use the right kind of knife. You know, a brisket it's a big piece of meat. Don't start hacking at it with a little steak knife. You know, get something long enough. So I have this knife here. I use this knife only for cutting steaks, okay? That's it. And of course, in this case, brisket. So I keep it pristine. I keep it sharp. And I mean, you know, this is a knife that you want to use. Something like this is a 10-inch, called a 10-inch breaking knife. So typically when you have your whole rib or your strip loin, you go one swipe down and one in, and it cuts so you're not hacking up your meat, okay? That's pretty important, guys. If you're gonna go through all the trouble of making a brisket, although in this video it's the easy brisket, still, you know, take some time and cut it with a proper knife. All right, guys? So, yeah, this thing's almost ready to come off. We have another 30 minutes exactly, so we'll be back in a second or two through the magic of editing, and that'll be 30 minutes for me. Okay, thanks, guys. We just got our notification from this meter probe, and it tells us it has reached an internal temperature of 203 degrees, which is perfect. So we're going to take a look at this real quick here. And that is just absolutely gorgeous. That's one of the nicer looking briskets I've ever seen, actually. That being said, we are going to let this rest. So how I'm going to do this, guys, because remember, this is a simple brisket. So we're not going to wrap anything. We're not going to mess around with any of that. All we're going to do is shut everything down. Okay? We're going to suffocate the coals. If you're doing this in an oven, all that means is turn off the burner. If you're doing it in a barbecue, also it just means turn it off. That should rest out and probably get up to about 205 to 210 degrees within the hour that it's resting, and then start to settle back down again. Once that rest time is over, we're going to move it onto a cutting board and slice it right away and eat it. I mean, that's simple. It doesn't get more simple than that. So here we have it, guys. The brisket has been resting. I know I said an hour, but it's only been about 40 minutes because we are starving. This is what we have. So we have a beautiful bark, beautiful color. We're going to start by removing this meter probe. Okay, and we'll just put this aside over here. So guys, basically what we've done here, this is 100% carnivore brisket, meaning there's no seasonings, no spices, nothing on this other than salt and butter that it was basted with at the 2-hour mark and at the 4-hour mark, okay? Of course, you could add your seasonings of choice. You can add your rubs, all of that good stuff, and still do the whole same process that we did. And we took a brisket that would normally cook in 12 to 18 hours, and we are eating this thing literally at 6 p.m. after putting it in at 11 a.m. So that's even after resting it, okay? So we fell perfectly within the timelines we wanted to. Now I'm going to cut into this and let's see if it actually worked out the way we wanted to. So we get our nice, beautiful Cut Lux breaking knife, okay? So we're just going to cut into this here. Whoops. Got a little bit of a bark at the crust at the bottom also. And look at that, guys. Look at the juices on that knife. Oh my goodness. So let's see what we got here. Ready? Can you zoom in on this here? And look at those juices just running down. Is that a thing of beauty or what, guys? So my friends, this is the Real Carnivore, easy peasy, no nonsense brisket, no wrapping, no nothing. Just cook and eat in literally 1/3 the time, okay? So do not be intimidated by brisket, guys. Just watch this video, do what I did here, and it's foolproof. It should work for you every time. Oh, we are going to do one more thing. We're going to do the brisket bend test. That's something I see other guys do on YouTube. So we're going to try and give it a shot. We're going to do a nice little thin slice here. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Does that just fall apart like something of a piece of work of art or what? Okay. So how's that for the brisket bend test, guys? Okay. It bends. That's beautiful. Let's do a little quick taste here. Okay? Don't try this at home, kids. Let me tell you, that will rival any brisket I've ever had. And guys, I've eaten a lot of meat in my life. And this rivals any brisket I've ever had. So, easy peasy brisket, upgraded. If you haven't seen my Upgrade Your Steak video, you can see that as well. And that will explain in more detail what I've done to this brisket. And I'll post the video here again. I did it earlier in this video, but I'm going to do it right here again. And I'll also add a link in the description down below. Now, I want to talk about this meter probe. Okay, the meter probe, I was never used it before. I was never a big fan of it. Just, it sounded too good to be true. But I got to tell you guys, I was pretty impressed with this thing. So I think I might invest in one. It is pretty expensive, so I'm not sure if I can justify the cost just yet, but if it's making the easy brisket even easier, it might be worth the cost for me. All right. Thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe and hit the notification bell for any new videos that come out, because I'm all about sharing my story, which you'll see in other videos, and also making the carnivore diet interesting and easy for everybody to follow and economical. Thank you, guys. Adios. It's dinner time.